feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue old home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry seas, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue road home. Upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Read the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. New day.
beautiful, colorful, wide and wonderful. Have you ever felt the sunshine so brilliantly raining down over you and me? Have you ever wanted more? Wanted more? You've got to keep your mind wide open, all the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open, believe in what you see. Think of all the days you've wasted, worrying, wondering, hopelessly hoping. Think of all the time ahead. Don't hesitate, contemplate. No, it's not too late. Have you ever wanted more?
Good morning. Welcome to the live stream with the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta. Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. So we get to sing labor songs, and I love me some labor songs. This first one is really interesting. It is 100 years old. This song has been around since the beginning of the women's suffrage movement, and which has coincided with the labor movement, and it has had a lot of staying power. This song was sung during the civil rights movement. It was sung even most recently at the Women's March on Washington. And wondering why this quite antiquated song, and these lyrics are very old school, why is it have so much staying power? And I think it's because it doesn't just talk about unions and the right to make more money and work, but it also talks about the good parts of life that come outside of work. This is Bread and Roses. It has 4 verses. If you don't know it, you'll know it by the end. As we come marching, marching in the beauty of the day, 1,000,000 darkened kitchens, 1,000 workshops gray are touched with all the radiance that sudden sun discloses. For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. As we come marching, marching, we battle too for men, for they are women's children, and we mother them again. Our lives shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses. As we come marching, marching, unnumbered women dead go crying through our singing their ancient song of bread. Small art and love and beauty, their death-drudging spirits knew. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too. As we come marching, marching, we bring the greater days. The rising of the women means the rising of the race. No more the drudge and idler, 10 that toil while one reposes, but the sharing of life's glories, bread and roses, bread and roses. A lot of great labor songs for you this morning. We are so glad you are chosen to worship with us. It is the best place to worship on the whole internet, and the internet is really big.
Good morning, and welcome to Sunday morning worship with the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Atlanta, a beloved community that changes lives. I'm Jason Delaney, a proud UUCA member and I serve as your finance trustee. Wherever you are from, whomever you love, and whatever path you are on, you are welcome here. Register now for Children and Youth Religious Education Program Year. RE will go virtual starting next Sunday, September 13th. It is important to register your children to receive important instructions about dates, times, and virtual protocols. Follow the link in the live chat right now to register your youth and children. We are excited to invite you to our Zoom Room Social Hour happening immediately following the service. If you have not already, please sign up to get an invitation to the Zoom Room Social Hour by following the link in your weekly update or the link provided in the live stream chat. Come one, come all to UUCA's Capital Campaign Kickoff event next Sunday, September 13th. First, join us online for a special celebration worship as we begin our capital campaign, Building a New Way Together. This worship service will feature surprise performances, and we will also celebrate this year's amazing crop of RE teachers as we kick off our religious education program year at the same time. Come on by to our new campus at 2650 North Druid Hills Road from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. to pick up some treats, a swag bag, and to say hello in person to some of our capital campaign leaders. Then join us online again at 4 p.m. for a very special virtual congregational retreat party hosted by Don Milton and Reverend Taryn, featuring all kinds of performances and special announcements from so many UUCA talents. Next Sunday, 11 a.m. worship, 1 p.m. pick up a swag bag at 2650 North Druid Hills Road, and 4 p.m. virtual retreat party. It is going to be an amazing day of worship and celebration. For our final announcement, we have a video from our small group ministry steering team.
Hi there, I'm Cheryl Delaney, and I'm one of the members of UUCA's steering team for small group ministry. I'm here right now to invite you to participate in a group this year and to tell you a little bit more about the program. By now, you've probably heard someone mention neighborhood circles, and maybe you've attended some social hours after service on Sundays, so you might be curious what makes small group ministry different. So a few things. One, the groups are small. It is right there in the name, but it's important to emphasize because it's one of the things that allows for deep connection. We're even making groups a little smaller this year to allow us to make meetings shorter and hopefully decrease some of that Zoom fatigue you might be feeling. Being in a small group means you really get to know the other people in your group. This feature distinguishes small group ministry from neighborhood circles, which have no size limit and are really designed to build support that connects us to each other geographically. 2, small group ministry is intimate. The group sessions are carefully developed to lead to deep sharing and caring connection. By the end of the program year, you'll likely have added about 6 people from UUCA who know you really well, and you'll know them too. You'll meet with the same people once a month, every month for a year. Unlike social hour, you'll develop relationships that span the year from October to May. And 3, groups are consistent. Every meeting is guided by an order of service on a particular topic, a lot like worship. Within each order of service, there's a chalice lighting, relevant poems or passages to get everyone's gears spinning about the topic, and then prompts related to that topic. Responses are timed so that everyone shares and no one takes up all the space. And on that note of consistency, we'd ask you to consider your own level of commitment when you're signing up. If this program sounds like a good fit, we absolutely want you to participate, given that you're reasonably sure you'll be able to attend almost every group. Things come up for everyone, we get that, and at the same time, your consistent attendance matters to all the other participants in the group. So, I hope this answers some of your questions about small group ministry and maybe piques your interest a little bit. If you're curious and have more questions, contact the steering team at sgm@uuca.org. Take good care, and we hope to see you in a small group.
I love her. Thank you, Cheryl. Please find the registration link in the chat now. Through the live chat, we can express love and care for each other. As UUs, we know that we have a lot of varied opinions. It is a strength of our faith and of our congregation. The YouTube chat, though, is not the place to voice and discuss those opinions, as they take away from the flow and experience of this service. If you wish, please use our live chat feature for 3 purposes: to welcome and support one another, to affirm the hard work and effort of all of our worship leaders, and to spread good vibes. If you have questions or concerns about the sermon or worship, please contact Reverend Taryn or our staff directly via email. If you notice yourself becoming upset during the worship service, please know that we have a lay minister standing by in our live chat. Reach out to lay minister Barbara Begner, and she will arrange a phone call with you offline so that others can enjoy the service. And now, I invite you into gentle care on our live stream. Please take a moment to welcome each other and to welcome anyone who may be visiting into this morning's worship. Once again, we are so glad that you have chosen to worship with us this morning. Please say the chalice lighting words with us.
May the
May the light of this flame illuminate our tradition of seeking, invite all who yearn for acceptance, and ignite our passion for justice and peace.
I sang this song 16 tons at the age of 16 when Tennessee Ernie Ford came out with it, Peon to Those Who Labor in the Coal Mines. The song was actually written by Merle Travis, a country music Hall of Fame person who lived in Muhlenberg County, Kentucky, which is toward the southwest, and they actually produce as much or more coal than those in East Kentucky. I do want to dedicate this song to a good friend of mine for 48 years, Chuck Logan, who lives in Dahlonega with his charming and dynamic wife, Donna Logan. Chuck was in the coal mines and in a fire accident that he barely survived made him decide to go to the University of Kentucky instead. And so we ended up in the U.S. Labor Department all those years together. Some people say a man is made out of mud. A poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood and skin and bone. A mind that's weak and a back that's strong. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning when the sun didn't shine. I picked up my shovel and I walked to the mine. I loaded 16 tons of number 9 coal, and the straw boss said, well, bless my soul, you load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. I was born one morning, it was drizzling rain. fighting and trouble are my middle name. I was raised in the canebrake by an old mama line. There can't no high-tone woman make me walk the line. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store. If you see me coming, better step aside. A lot of men didn't, a lot of men died. One fist of iron, the other of steel. If the right one don't get you, then the left one will. You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
That just made me so happy. Please rise in body or in spirit and join us at the Delaney family in our movement prayer.
First, we vow to honor the spirit of life. We lift our arms and embrace the gifts of spirit. We bring these gifts unto ourselves with gratitude and breathe and smile. We share these gifts with the world. We remember to be present. Honor, embrace, gratitude, share, be present.
Step by step, the longest march can be won, can be won. Many stones can form an arch, singly none, singly none. And by union, what we will can be accomplished still. Drops of water turn a mill, singly none, singly none.
Let us put hands upon hearts and feel the warm connection. Let love in this moment flow. Say to yourself silently, I will love myself, I will love others, and that love will heal the world. At this time, we hear the joys and sorrows of this congregation. We are sending our prayers and loving thoughts to Jocelyn Jackson, who moved to Raleigh, North Carolina yesterday to live with her daughter, Jennifer, after having lived in Atlanta for 57 years. Jocelyn and Jennifer are looking forward to this new phase of their lives, and they will continue participating in our live stream services from Raleigh. Elizabeth, Brent, and Penelope Schreibfetter are delighted to welcome Gwendolyn Nora Schreibfetter, who arrived on Friday morning, September 4th. Welcome, baby. Mom and baby are doing well. They're very grateful for all of the support from our UUCA community. Check the weekly update this Friday for information on helping mommy and family through Meal Train. You are invited to say the names of people you are holding in your heart this morning. Speak their names into this holy space now. As humans have gathered for millennia, so we gather on this day to gently surrender to something beyond ourselves, to humbly acknowledge our mistakes, to ask forgiveness, to seek hope and renewal, to honor the earth that supports and sustains life, to remember that all beings are inextricably and mysteriously connected. Now, we still our bodies and we still our minds. We take in a big breath and we exhale. We relax into this space that our intentions make sacred. We enter into the wise silence.
Step by step, the longest march can be won, can be won. Many stones can form an arch, singly none, singly none. And by union, what we will can be accomplished still. Drops of water turn a mill, singly none, singly none.
Back at Cliff Valley, I gave a testimonial in which I talked about how complicated it is to find a place for yourself. When Cheryl first insisted we try out this UU church, though, I was a skeptic. I didn't think I wanted to give up my Sunday mornings. I mean, in exchange for what? When we left Atlanta for Little Rock, well, there was the hard part, finding a new dentist and remembering which grocery store has the good produce. And then there was the impossible part. How do you replace proximity to friends and family? How do you find a climbing gym when there's just not a climbing gym? We attended the UU church there, and it meant a lot. It was an important source of connection for us, even if it wasn't the same. UUCA had become a big part of what Atlanta meant to us. And when we came back, we returned with a lot of relief and sadness and gratitude in exchange for what had obvious answers. This place helped me survive grad school, which is to say, to survive my internal certainty that I was going to fail. I was going to disappoint everyone who counted on me, and that everything I loved would be taken from me as a result. It supported Cheryl and me through the hard years of early parenthood. I cannot express how grateful I was to have a place where someone would watch baby Violet so we could sit quietly for just half an hour before that little pager would go off. By the way, baby Violet turns 13 today. Happy birthday, kiddo. You made me a dad. You're such a natural leader, such a kind soul. I'm so, so proud of you. I love you, Violet. When we came back from Little Rock, Violet and Henry came to UCA for preschool. I learned how to become a better man by mentoring youth through coming of age. I struggled with depression. I felt myself cracking under the pressure to be everything to everyone. I knelt upon the floor of that old sanctuary in tears alone. I prayed for strength, and I found strength. I have had the opportunity to serve and to lead, and I have felt my heart grow bigger, my sense of purpose expand, all for the low, low price of my Sunday mornings. That's a joke. There is no price. That's not how it works. And the giving is separate. I want that to be clear. My giving is not the price I pay for the services I receive. There is no price I pay. There are no services I receive. I commit myself, and I am changed by that commitment. This is not an economic transaction, but a personal and spiritual pursuit. Our generosity is an act of faith. Our treasure helps UUCA build a future where we bring others in, where we help others out, where Atlanta knows what Unitarian Universalism stands for, and the circle widens. I want LGBT youth to know that they are loved. I want violence in our cities and our home and in the world to find it ceasing. I want everyone who is searching to know there's a place where we can search together. I want more than that. I want things I don't even know I want yet, because the me in the future is a me further transformed. I want my children, all of our UU children, to go out into the world in search of wisdom, to bring it back here, and to tell me where I am mistaken, to demand of me that I commit more love and more justice and more service and more resources. Today, I ask you to give for the things you dream of and for the things beyond your dreams. Our future selves will know more than our present selves do. Let us give gifts sufficient to fuel those enlightened aspirations. In the chat, you can see the PayPal link, or you can go to uuca.org/give. Please give generously. The future depends on it. This morning's offering will now be given and gratefully received.
So if you've been coming to UCA for a while, you probably know that I'm a really big Pete Seeger fan. He's a hero of mine. And I love the way that Pete Seeger writes songs about really big topics, but puts them in very simple ways. That war is a big topic, but war is bad is a pretty simple idea, and he's there for it. And I just love that about him. And a few weeks ago, UUC member Jim Kelly sent me this thing is on your screen right now. This is from April of 1967 when Pete Seeger did a concert at our UU sanctuary at Cliff Valley Way. That was the second year that new space was open. I'm thinking about our next space and what amazing people will come perform there. This is a song that Pete Seeger put on his Grammy-winning album At 89 that he recorded when he was 89 years old. It's called One of These Days. It's a call and response song, so you get to sing along from where you are. So I'll sing a line. Gerald and Jason are going to sing the response part with you. So I'll sing One of These Days, and you sing
One of these days.
I'll sing One of These Days.
One of these days.
Then all together we sing One of These Days, One of These Days, or else One of these days,
One of these days.
one of these days,
One of these days.
one of these days, one of these days, or else our schools will get the money they need for smaller classes, and the Navy will hold a bake sale to build a battleship. One of these days,
One of these days.
one of these days,
One of these days.
one of these days, one of these days, or else. And Alex will get the money they need for that operation. And the Air Force will hold a raffle to build a bomber. One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days. One of these days. Or else. And every vote will be counted in every election. And the winners will always keep all of their promises. One of these days.
One of these days.
Oh, one of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days. One of these days. Or else. And around the world we'll learn to speak each other's languages. And the first thing that we learn will be to listen. One of these days.
One of these days.
Oh, one of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days. One of these days. Or else. God only knows what the future will be. God only knows what the future will be. But God gave us brains, they expect us to use them. One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days. One of these days. Or else. One of these days.
One of these days.
Oh, one of these days.
One of these days.
One of these days. One of these days. Or else.
And now, please join me in the dedication of the offering. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action we call community, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings. The first reading today is the poem Woman Work by Maya Angelou. I've got the children to tend, the clothes to mend, the floor to mop, the food to shop, then the chicken to fry, the baby to dry. I got company to feed, the garden to weed. I've got shirts to press, the tots to dress, the cane to be cut. I gotta clean up this hut, then see about the sick and the cotton to pick. Shine on me, sunshine. Rain on me, rain. Fall softly, dewdrops, and cool my brow again. Storm, blow me from here with your fiercest wind. Let me float across the sky till I can rest again. Fall gently, snowflakes. Cover me with white, cold, icy kisses, and let me rest tonight. Sun, rain, curving sky. Mountains, oceans, leaf and stone. Star shine, moon glow. You're all that I can call my own.
And our second reading is Walt Whitman's I Hear America Singing. I hear America singing the varied carols I hear, those of mechanics, each one singing his as it should be, blithe and strong. The carpenter singing his as he measures his plank or beam. The mason singing his as he makes ready for work or leaves off work. The boatman singing what belongs to him in his boat. The deckhand singing on the steamboat deck. The shoemaker singing as he sits on his bench. The hatter singing as he stands. The woodcutter's song the plowboy's own on his way in the morning and at noon intermission or at sundown. The delicious singing of the mother or of the young wife at work or of the girl sewing or washing, each singing what belongs to them and to none else. The day what belongs to the day. At night, the party of young fellows robust, friendly, singing with open mouths their strong, melodious songs.
I want to start by saying how grateful I am to have this chance to be with you. Taryn and Don, our AV team, George, Michael, Pasha, Jeep, y'all have worked so hard to keep us connected. I have some thoughts to share about the way our world sets us up for our work, and I'm grateful to get to share them with you. I'm going to sneak an extra reading in here. It's an important enough reading to me that I had it written on the body. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest. Do it with thy might. Thy might. Today, on this Labor Day weekend, I want you to pause. I want you to contemplate thy might. Do you know what you are truly capable of? In September of 2011, I recall trying to awaken one particular student of mine to his potential. Mark spent all his free time playing video games and going to parties, which I understand. I possessed the same lack of direction and motivation at his age. Now, though, he was sitting in my office, scraping by with a C in my quantitative analysis class. He wanted to know what he should do with this class and with his life. I told him that there's nothing so truly terrifying as the thought of what we might be capable of if we really set our minds and our hearts to the task of changing the world. I remember shivering a little bit myself at that thought. Today, Mark is doing so well. He's a good man. He's living a good life. He's married with children, a good job. He's happy and he's well. Helping him build a new way to be, well, that was good work. I love Whitman's song. It fills me with such longing, blithe and strong. What a way to be, what a way to abide. Each singing what belongs to them and to none else. Singing with open mouths their strong, melodious songs. Can you hear it? Can you hear them, the varied carols? Such a vision for what work can be, could be, might be. And for some, a vision that if ever it was only fleetingly, maybe never was. What a joy, what a blessing, what an accident of fate, what a scarce opportunity to have the work at hand be something to sing about. When you set your hands to the task in front of you these days, do you sing? Now, there's a story that we tell ourselves about work, and it's a good story. It's a compelling one, that this is what work is. The story is that everything happens for a reason, that people get what they deserve, that if you put one foot in front of the other, you put your shoulder to the wheel, you put your nose to the grindstone, you too can get a nice 3-bedroom, a better future for your children, a share of the great American enterprise. For many Americans, this was held out as a vision of hope. Who wouldn't yearn for the Norman Rockwell depiction of a life well lived? For some of us, this was a cakewalk. For others of us, it was a crapshoot, something you could pull it off if you're lucky. For a lot of us, this has been a brass ring forever out of reach. Lucy holding out the football for Charlie Brown to run up again and again and again to be met with disappointment. For still others among us, this story was never meant for them. The promise of America was never intended to be a promise to every one of us. For me, it's a story I was raised on, and this is a complicated sermon to give. It has been a complicated set of lessons to learn. It's been complicated not because it's not a good story, but because it's not good enough. It is not good enough. It is not worthy of us to believe that if you work hard, you get ahead. I once dreamed of that, of a nice job with a nice house where I would be left alone and no one would expect too much of me. The world we were raised in teaches us to slowly limit our dreams about our work. If I had lived out my dreams, I know that I would have lived a life of quiet desperation. I would have acquiesced to the mediocre expectations of my limited imagination. I would never have questioned my role as a man, as a white man, or the privilege, the sense of entitlement that I inherited, developed, inhabited as a result. It's a complicated thing. The dreams of my past were noble, But in hindsight, they sometimes look ignoble. They weren't. I was simply mistaken. I was limited in my perspective. The dreams I dream today are so much greater, and I hope against hope that they also fall short, that the promise of the future is so much greater that I can someday again revel in how far we have come from where we are, where we were when I dreamed my limited dreams. My hope today is to complicate your dreams, to challenge them. My hope is for you to dream bigger, for you to not trust your dreams, but to have faith in a future beyond them, even when the world around us falls far, far short of where we know it should be. We are not there yet. I ask again, when you set your hands to the work in front of you, is it easy for you to do it with thy might? Do you sing in the year 2020 a song that belongs to you and to none else when you work? When I walk on my campus, or when I pass by my children's elementary school, or when I briskly and anxiously enter the grocery store, someone else's workplace, I don't hear people singing. I don't feel like singing the work that I'm doing. Now, don't get me wrong, I do still sing. When I empty the dishwasher to 90s dance punk, or I try to help my children with their school, another Zoom call, or I try to help UUCA with the work we're doing together, again, another Zoom call. Both of those, though, with people I deeply love, it comes in flickers. I can still tap into that current, that electrifying arc of human progress. And I don't want this to be ahistorical. When I cast my mind back 100, 1,000, 10,000 years, I know how far we have come. We have come so far. I have a roof that mostly works. We have a few quotes. We're having it replaced. We have food in the fridge. I have a warm bed. These were all the aspirations my ancestors worked for. All of this freedom has been hard won. And yet, I don't know. Is this what the American dream was? Did my grandfather, who dropped out of school after the 8th grade so he could work to support his 10 siblings, when he took on 3 jobs, broke his body down so all his children could go to college, was it so I could have that 5th streaming service? Did he do it so we could roll the dice and hope for the best with medical expenses? Did he go to his church every morning, light a candle and pray before he worked his 3 jobs so that the S&P 500 would climb? Does it dignify his sacrifices if I respond by pulling up the ladder, if I build a wall so no one else can carve out a slice of an ever-narrowing pie? When my dad, when I was a kid, when he spent night after night, a couple times a month for years in a crappy hotel in Seoul, South Korea for work, and my mom, she cared for 3 unruly children, all of us under the age of 7, was it so I could burn my Saturday mornings answering emails? Is that what they were working for? I missed him. I missed my dad when he was gone. Was this it? Was this the vision? A pandemic-stricken society with all of us huddled in our homes, duking it out on social media? Is this worthy of us? Is this worthy of you? Let me tell you what I was taught to believe. I was taught to believe that in America, anyone can become anything. If you work hard enough, we all have the same chances. That work is not only its own reward, but that our salary, your salary, is a measure of your value to society. I was taught to believe in meritocracy. The hardest lesson of my adult life has been breaking that down. I majored in computer science when I started my adult life because what nerdy kid didn't want to be Bill Gates? I was taught that if you push hard, you can get ahead. But you know what else I was taught? And this part was quiet. It was subversive. If I'm being honest, and if there's a place to be honest, it's here at this pulpit, this was the voice of the revolutionary prophets in my ear. I was taught that there's no such thing as getting ahead. That's our first principle right there, our inherent worth and dignity. If our worth and dignity are inherent, then how can you get ahead? How can you get ahead unless someone else falls behind? And how can you abide if your neighbor, if your cousin falls behind? Let me tell you what I learned. I learned from you, from our principles, that you are not your salary. Your value is incommensurable. I learned from you how to love you, and I could not be more grateful. So So that Ecclesiastes reading I snuck in. After the tattoo part, there's another great passage. I saw something else under the sun. The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong. Neither is the bread to the wise, nor the wealth to the intelligent, nor the favor to the skillful. Rather, time and chance happen to us all. Time and chance happen to us all. Time and chance. Such a terrifying passage for my younger self. So interested in control, if I'm being honest. Such a liberation to me now, set free from fear. It is a revolutionary vision, a world I can barely fathom. I want it to liberate you as it liberates me. It was terrifying, and now it has set me free. Isn't that just how the capital T truth works? People get what they get. There is no such thing as deserve. We are all worthy. The work I do today, I was born to do. But see, there's the thing. I was born into this, even in the world in which we live. And if I was born to do this, born to do work that would help me get ahead, I cannot abide that. I cannot abide getting ahead. Because if I'm getting ahead, someone else is being left behind. I cannot abide meritocracy. It teaches us that those who deserve shall have, and those that do not shall not. I cannot abide a world in which my sisters and my cousins, my siblings and my brothers should be left out. I will not abide it. And here is the greatest revelation that I've ever discovered. It doesn't have to be this way. All of this is human institutions. All of this is constructed. And we, Unitarian Universalists, we changed the words to the songs 500 years later. We can certainly change the bylaws of the businesses in which we work, the policies of the places in which we spend our days. If anyone can put our shoulders to the wheel of wheels, if anyone can dismantle the grindstones, it is us. None of this is determined. It is to us to decide what is worthy of us. The world we are in, it is the result of rules, of incentive structures that we did not choose. I can tell you, as an economist, it is not set up for our success. In a time of desperation, with clarity of vision, there are two things that bring me back, things that feed my spirit, that give me hope. The first is that I have been handed this wisdom, that I have all this supporting me, that when I put my hand to the work in front of me, that I am not alone. I carry all of you with me. We do the critical work of passing from one generation to the next, not only the resources, but also the rationale for our progress. That is the first. The second is that none of this is done. When I think about the people who stand in our way, they lack the conviction, the clarity of purpose, the vision. Beyond that, the faith to stand against people who can unflinchingly assert that every person's worth and dignity are inherent, that each person deserves their search for truth and meaning to which we are accountable, and that our community will be beholden to those searches through the democratic process, that we will honor our worth as we honor the interconnected web of all being. So what are we to do? If you are with me, if I have brought you with me, then here we are, looking at our hands. We have orders, but they're the wrong orders, and then there's the job in front of us. What are we to do? What am I asking of you? Honestly, I wish I knew, but it depends. If you're still hanging on to meritocracy, what I ask of you is to roll it around. Ask yourself if you can really go to the wall for it. For some of you, I'm asking you just to know that you are not your salary. You are not what someone else says you are. Bring your Unitarian Universalism to work with you. Let it challenge others' conceptions of you. For others of you, I'm asking you to bring your Unitarian Universalism to work with you and wield it to challenge others' conceptions. Are you okay with your organization's hiring practices, with the way that it treats sick leave, with the work to which you put your might? If your work is behind you, for the most part, did you get those 3 bedrooms? Good on you. It is important to make good on the dreams of our ancestors. But before you renovate, has your neighbor had access to that dream? My kitchen linoleum is peeling, and I hate it. I hate it. But I don't hate it as much as I hate the fact that there are children in juvenile detention, or that there are addicts who need treatment, or that there are elections that some are trying to rig. So my linoleum is going to stay peeled for a while. To what do you commit the work you do? This religion we have, it will change the world. And the way it will do that, it's us. We are the moral agents. The work ahead of us, the work I ask of you, is all the work you are already doing, infused with the principles we all hold dear. Work in this time is not what it ought to be. And we, as always, are the vanguard, as it should be. But as the scripture says, whatsoever our hand findeth to do, we shall do it with our might. We will build a new way together. Our new home? Well, we are going to raise the money to get there. If someone calls you, asks you to help us move into our new place, remember that this is a generational call, and say yes and do what you can. If you are new here, if all of this is new to you, savor it. I was hesitant when I first came. Honestly, I was hesitant. But let me tell you, what we have here is a new way, a better way, and you should stay to see it out. It's going to change you, I promise. You can't know how good it's going to be, but it's going to be so good. I envy you. Thank you for being here. You are the wellspring from which all of this arises. If you're new here, we owe you. Take what you need. Keep coming back. Now, I have not done justice to the ways in which work is structured to harm us, to the unfairness that means that my cushy office job pays much, much more than any of the painful, unpleasant, exhausting warehouse jobs that I worked before I got through college. The unfairness that meant, by accident of birth, I was just passing through, while other people worked through back pain for maybe 30 years, many of them treated by myriad other powers that be as second-class citizens. I have not done justice to the ways in which my gender, the color of my skin, have meant that interviewers treat me differently, that my workplace is not also a place where I'm at physical and emotional risk in jarring and traumatic ways. Or that all the work I do at home, serving my family, raising my children, is treated by society as extra credit, not a baseline expectation. I have not done justice to the ways ancestral pain can make all of this harder, can add hurdles, to all the ways that who we are gives lie to the fiction that everyone is playing the same game on the same difficulty setting. Every morning we wake up and we greet the new day. I have not done nearly enough justice to what that day looks like. Here now, me and you, in these moments with my words, we have but 15, maybe 20 minutes to envision, to encompass, to try to articulate what we do in 2,000 hours each year for decades, the work of a lifetime. I cannot do it justice here. What I ask of you is to demand justice for all of those working hours all the rest of the year. Bring those hours back to this community when they transcend and when they fall short, to sanctify some of those efforts with your gifts of talent and time and treasure, and to demand more at many a turn. Honor the sacrifice of generations past. Tell us what our community had better honor instead. Meritocracy cannot hold, but there is a better way, a new way, and we cannot build it without you. So build it with us. Share your dreams of a new way. And then, as we work, sing to future generations. Sing of the sun, the moon, the snow, the wind, the mason, the woodcutter, the shoemaker, and all of the mothers. A song of all of us, building a new dream together. What will it look like? Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it has the smell of wood shavings and leather and bacon fat. Maybe it involves changing the baby again and again and yet again. I just want work for you, for us, that is worthy. Let us put our hands to the task in front of us, build our new way together, and do it with our might. Amen.
Amen. Whew. I'm pumped up, Jason. That was really, really great. Bravo. Well done. Our final hymn this morning. Gerald's going to join me. It's so great to hear Gerald sing. Gerald, you're just the best. That song also was the first time we did a Labor Day service about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and that was the first time I knew Jeep was an amazing guitar player, because when I first met Jeep, he lied to me and said he was an okay guitar player. Our last hymn this morning, it's really funny, as Jason was doing his sermon, I was like, well, this hymn doesn't work anymore, but it's not true. It's not true. This is a great labor song, We Shall Not Be Moved, but we want to be moved, and that's a thing about being progressive. Progressive means progress, and this idea that we will not be moved from our convictions to continue moving life forward, to continue creating great progress. This is We Shall Not Be Moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. On the road to freedom, we shall not be moved. On the road to freedom, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. When we sing together, we shall not be moved. When we sing together, we shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's standing by the water. We shall not be moved.
Remember, our worth and dignity are inherent, and the fact that we put our hands to it, that is what sanctifies our work. Our shared values, our principles, can make all the work we do more wholehearted, more engaged, more infused with beauty, until again, we can all sing blithe and strong. Together, let us build a new way to be, a new way to work. As we extinguish our chalice together this morning, may you find your rest from work. And when again you lay your hands to the task in front of you, may you do it with thy might and find that it makes your heart sing.
feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue old home.
Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry seas, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls,
making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue old home. Upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Read the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat.
We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, getting stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building. We're building a new way. Yeah, I heard it. We're building us a new way. Yeah, I heard it on the front line. That we're building us a new way.
If you can but prove to me
got to keep your mind wide open. All the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open. Believe in what you see. Think of all the days you've wasted, worrying, wondering, hopelessly hoping. Think of all the time ahead. Don't hesitate, contemplate. No, it's not too late. Have you ever wanted more? Don't you know there's so much more? You've got to keep your mind wide open. All the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open. Believe in what you see. Tomorrow's horizons, full of surprises. Don't let them take your dreams away. You've got to keep your mind wide open. All the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open. Believe in what you see. You've got to keep your mind wide open. All the possibilities. You've got to live with your eyes open. Believe in what you see.